I would say, a willingness to experiment. And perhaps I would like to say a few words that actually was by 81-year-old Annabella Geiger, who has been such a pioneer throughout her whole career and who says that art is possible only if it is experimental, and an artist is defined by his or her ability to experiment. And I think that is certainly something that seems to bring you all together in that sense this evening, today. But I don't know, maybe we should try to see if anyone has questions to ask to our panel.
I don't have a question per se, but Renard, you just made a statement which rings in my head, because the issue of Latin America, what is Latin American art? You're asking the same question in a different way. What is gender art? You know, I mean, is art male or female? Does that precede the experimenter? You know, so essentially, I just wonder from all of you what experiment means to you. In 2 words.
Jesus. What experiment means, I think, well, it means just to trust, and you jump in. You're unafraid of mistake. Mistake does not exist. You know, you will gonna learn. At least you will learn something. Or if you don't just throw yourself, nothing new will come up. You just be repeating. So that's what to me is.
For me, it means essentially being skeptical about everything, always.
That's concise.
It's like being in the unknown. It's like being blind for a while and just let it go.
I'm kind of more agree with the statement that she said, that I don't see another option. I mean, it's the only option of art.
I will talk more about accident, and in my work I take accident as an experience, a new one, and it learns me more than my own way to.
Stay in the way always. Not try to find an end. So maintain a way.
Moving to the next step, yes. I think that perhaps what's interesting about our selection is that I think you would be pushed to see that it is a selection of work by women artists. I think perhaps the work of Lucia is the work that is the most perhaps gendered, the most visually dealing with femininity. But the rest, I think, I don't know if you would agree with this. I think, so whether we are beyond the word of feminism, where your work needs to be militant, I think this is perhaps a question to ask also.
I think perhaps the idea of doing this selection of women projects only with women, if I think of my generation, I probably didn't grow up with the kind of urgency to fight certain causes because they had been fought for me, you know. So I think for lots of women in my generation, and even more for your generation, it was a given. But I think hearing Ivona speak yesterday about like market prices, for instance, and hearing about these conversations in the mainstream media about pay gaps between men and women in exactly the same profession, I'm sure there are still causes to be fought. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, to me, it is still a question. I mean, I'm sure some things have to be argued for and fought for, but in a new way, perhaps.
I feel like there's 2 fronts that you need to work on. Like, you have the division and you have the whole. So this is why, for me, it's interesting to work with deprogramming, like localizing the social structure, the programming that we have, because like gender is a programming. You know, when you say a female is very feminine, what does it mean? Like, you can use then receptive from Chinese, active or something. You know, we're starting to understand that we all have these energies in us, and some women can have more of the, what people would say, masculine, and you know, what does define that. But like on the practical things like market, I think of course you have to Oh my God, I'm losing my thread. Let me go back to. I'm losing my thread. Sorry, I'm really dyslexic, and sometimes things just really go like this from my mind. Anyways, yeah, I just feel like the thing with the program is like localize, where is the construct, and and take it down via consciousness. But still, we need to talk about the issues. That's what I mean about the division, because it still is a fact that we don't get paid as much, and all these things are in place, and it needs to be pushed.
And maybe I should add, I mean, like when I'm speaking about market and corporate jobs and whatever, we're speaking about a very small fraction of the world, like the super developed societies, If you take, you don't have to go even so far, but if, even in Latin America, in many countries, women they live in a very disadvantaged position, And there are the extremes, like in the news recently with Egypt, India, and this is even more extreme. But
I just wanted to add that it's not only the market prices, but it's also the problem that when you see all these art schools that are full of women, then in the emerging market you see a lot of women, but then when you go to like museums and you see the monographies, it's mostly men. So it's really the problem of the level of emerging artists going to mid-career and to growing to like be part of history, if you want to call it like that. But it is dominated by men. I mean, it's not a lie. So I think you can just choose to be a militant or not. That's totally a personal decision, but I don't think that the 70s were the moment where the feminists had to be the fight. I mean, we won the fight and that's it. And also because the reality is so different depending on the culture and the country, and people women don't have access to education, and I mean, so many things. And then also the opposite, like the woman being like in Venezuela, for example, 90% or I don't know how many have like breast augmentation. So like you start to be like a normal person because you don't have it, and you have to feel all this imagery that you are supposed to be like that. And they even sell the breast implants at the pharmacy there. You just go and buy it and then find a doctor for you to put it inside your body. So I think there is a lot to talk about, and it's good that this year they focus in women because of the underrepresentation and all these issues, and so.
Basically, I just came from the Cannes Film Festival. I'm part of the show here, but this was the major issue. Jane Campion was the head of the festival, and so in the film industry, basically, it's run by a woman, but at the end, like she said, the monographs are like all males, and it was a major issue. At that global festival. So I just wanted to share that you're not alone.
Thank you.
And so I'd like because Kiki mentioned this one's a bit better in the beginning about the attitudes we've been taking. Like I agree. Like I am personally I'm a militant until like while this is not sorted, like things are equal. Basically, I'm not resting. And but what I found is lots of us, like mid-30s and stuff like. Chose to live our lives as we feel like it, and to like come out of the construct what I should be doing at this age as a woman. Should I wear this? Should I put my hair like that? Like come out, peel it off. And we are making ourselves every day, and there is no one to look up to. So there are not like recent examples and also information is going so fast now, social media, so things, the ground is moving. So it feels like it has to be a horizontal situation. So this is why we started the Powwow Sisterhood in Paris, and we're doing it in different places. I did the first one in London, is where basically we are just creative women engaged in change. We get together, we have a brunch, and we talk about whatever, like about work and things, and also all these issues come up, and we try to work out situations and like how to sort certain situations, how you've dealt with, how I've dealt with. And this way, horizontally, we all support each other and start changing, but also at a practical level, because what the media feeds us as women is talk about nails, boobs, boys, whatever. When women are together in a film or anything, it's not discussing ideas, it's not articulating anything, it's not making business, it's none of that. It's just none of that. And the way the world is, men are doing this all the time. When I'm touring, when I'm traveling, I'm taking a plane 8 in the morning, it's just men on the plane. You go to a business hotel, it's musk, the shampoo smells like men stuff, you know, it's all like gear. Seriously, like it's always, the architecture is made for men, everything is made for men, you know, and for these meetings to happen, the guys hang out and like organize stuff all the time, and there is nothing, nobody says something, oh, a bunch of guys together, look at that, and like women together on the street is like, oh, they want something, oh, is that like what they're doing, they're fishing for something. There's this thing, so we need to get together and work together and do things, and also but there is something really positive. Sorry, I'm like talking so much, but I'm really passionate about this, and I noticed there's something really cool happening, that the guys also are starting to review what is it to be a man, what is this. Like there was a transmission on Al Jazeera, just men talking about yes, all women, not all men discussion, and so that eventually we don't think about each other as I'm a woman and this is a guy and how do we do this. It's like human beings. I have a hole, you got something dangling, and we both have brains and energy in different balances, and we work together. Yes. So sorry.
Thank you, Sibelle.
But it very much. It's like we're so attached to biology. It's crazy.
Yeah, but well, you have the passion. Yeah. I think maybe Jasmine wanted to add something, and I know someone wanted to ask a question there. So maybe if you want to add something as passionate as me, no.
No, it was just a comment about before. And I was keep thinking about what is experimental and what is to be being militant or not. I think any expression of art is a political expression. I am a believer of that, and I truly believe that. So it doesn't have to say this is political art. Mm-hmm. But I will connect with this experiment thing that you were asking, because I was kind of keep thinking, and it has a connection with this. Like, I think there are some pieces of art that are not presented as art, and there are some things that are presented as art and they are not art. I'm not the one who will judge what is what, but the thing of being experimental or being politically engaged or yeah, militants about that, it what makes an art a piece of art. And I'm sure there's a lot of stuff here that are presented as art and are not, and vice versa. I mean, the street is full of, I mean, since Francis Alice, Gabriel Orozco, they show that everything is everywhere. So it's just a matter of what is, if it's genuine. If it is genuine, then it would be for sure experimental and for sure political.
Well, I think that's a great way to conclude. I'm sorry, but I don't think there is time for your question. But please feel free to ask us later on. I think we need to prepare for our next panel. So thank you very much for coming here today and for staying with us. Kiki. Thank you.